Conviction.
Okay, conviction. Yes. What are the others? Can you give the mic to the lady?
Compassion and community.
Okay. So 3 gone. New students. Yes. Samuel, give it to the gentleman in front. No.
Community, compassion, conviction, character, creativity.
Okay. I was waiting for somebody to say character because that is going to be the focus of my 5-minute presentation. It's a very short one, and so I'll keep it short. I want us to look at 3 principles that can help us to develop our character. Number 1, you can write it down. Develop an attitude of right expectation. Develop an attitude of right expectation. When we look at the book of Hebrews chapter 11, verse 1, it talks about having faith in action. And also 1 Corinthians chapter 13, we look at the principle of love. And in all, I think developing an attitude of right expectation can be summarized in the prayer by Reinhold Niebuhr, which says, and I quote, "God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom perseverance. In other words, what the widow did by giving all that she had speaks volumes of the kind of character that she had. And that is something that we can emulate. Number 3, have a prevailing attitude. Prevailing attitude. Now, when we say that something is prevailing, it connotes 2 meanings. And it is something that is for us to apply in our own lives. So number 1, if something is prevailing, then it exists at a particular time, or either current or past. And also, it has the most appeal or influence. And so if we as a body, as a family here at Heritage, we are to prevail in all circumstances, then we must come to the realization that things may be difficult, but they are not impossible. And also, we must never give up. We read this in Galatians chapter 5, verse 22. So in summary, the 3 things for us to keep in mind as we think about how we can imbibe the core values of HCC, especially to develop our character, is number 1, we must develop an attitude of right expectation. Number 2, we must persevere or not give up. And number 3, we must prevail. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Kwame Chumase Ankara. Shall we invite Madam Benedicta?
morning. So I'm coming to talk about stress management, but I think Kwame has summarized everything that I'm coming to say in his character story. So I'll be very brief in my presentation. Then after that, if we have questions, I'll answer them, the ones that I can. Okay, so before we even start, I want us to answer some few true or false questions, just about 4 or 5 of them. So let's start. Okay, so stress is one of the major causes of our health problems, true or false? So the answer, you said false. Everybody says true. Okay, the answer. Next slide. It's true. Next slide. Appetite changes are not a symptom of stress, true or false? Okay, so this one we are right. Next one. Depression and anxiety are linked to stress, true or false? Please, who said false? Okay. Okay, that's true. And the last one. No, it's not. 25% of people having trouble sleeping is because of stress. True or false? Okay, all those who say true, let me see your hands. They are not sure. Okay, those who say false. Hey, Mr. Nancy is very sure. Okay, please, the answer. It's false. So the percentage is higher than we think. It's about almost 50%. Okay, now let's begin the next slide. Money, work, and relationships are all causes of stress. True or false? Okay, so that's true. All right. So since we've been able to answer most of my questions, then I don't need to proceed, Anna. Okay, so basically stress is a feeling of not being able to cope with mental or emotional pressure. And the thing is that everybody is going through stress. Some way, somehow, the body has been made in such a way that we are supposed to have a bit of stress, and we are supposed to be able to manage it. When there's no stress at all, life becomes boring. And when the stress is too much, there's a problem. So the key here is moderation or balance. So basically, when the body is, when there's stress, it's like there's an automatic response from the body. So there's this hormone called adrenaline. Anytime you are in stress or you sense a very frightening situation, there's an alarm system in the brain. We call it the hypothalamus. It's quickly sends signals to the body organs. So this adrenaline, we find it, I think, on the liver. So those who have liver problems obviously will have problems secreting this particular hormone. So what this hormone, immediately this hormone is released, it means it quickly tells the other body organs that there's a situation. Let's gather momentum to help this person. So there's increased blood sugar, the muscles become ready for action and all that. It also means that anytime you go through continuous stressful situations, this organ goes up. And what happens? This hormone, the production goes up. And what happens? Instead of it to just come and help you fight these stressful situations, when this production or the production of this hormone goes up, it brings up a lot of problems. Heart attacks. Sometimes your sugar levels even go up because of that. Next slide. So like I said earlier, I may be going through a stressful situation, but you will never know. As for me, anytime you see me around, I'm laughing or smiling. I may be going through a stressful situation. Someone too may be going through the same problem I may be going through, or even more. And the way the person will also exhibits that stressful situation is different. So we usually do not really see people who are stressful. There are other people too who will show it. They may lose weight, some may gain a lot of weight and all that, and we may be able to tell that this person is going through stressful situation. Next. Okay. So now let's look at some of the emotional symptoms of, stress. Number one is when you become easily frustrated. The least thing, you are angry, you become very agitated and all that. Feeling of being overwhelmed. Even with situations that under normal circumstances, no normal person should be overwhelmed over. You become overwhelmed with it. Then it means you are undergoing a bit of stress. Having low self-esteem. You are there and you are just thinking that everybody around is better than you are. That's a problem. Depression is also a form of stress. Sometimes when people are also stressed out, they avoid people that under normal circumstances they should be rolling with. So with time, you start distancing yourself from your friends and all that because you are thinking about all sorts of strange things which do not even exist anyway. There's this quote I saw that sometimes about 90% of the things we think are happening or will happen, most of the time, especially the bad ones, they really do not happen. In reality, sometimes it happens just 10% of the time. And another thing is that it also changes your eating habits. Sometimes you feel like eating. The other time, most of the time, most of the people that I see in very stressful situations, most of the time would not eat. They can go the whole day because they are thinking about a problem. A loved one is dead or something, so they're undergoing that stressful situation, so they will not eat at all. Whilst you're undergoing these symptoms too, it's like these ones also increase the stress levels and will bring other symptoms into the body. With the physical symptoms, the physical symptoms are the ones that we usually would see. There's low energy. It's like you are there. Nothing really bothers you. You don't even have the strength to go about the normal activities that you are supposed to go through. Usually get headaches, migraines, stomach upset. Anytime adrenaline production increases, it increases gastric activity, like the digestive tract. Ideally, things shouldn't, the way the digestive tract works should be under normal situation. But because the adrenaline levels are high, now, how do I say it? I don't even know how to explain it further. Like the digestive tract activities increases more than it should. There's chest pains, there's rapid heart activity, beats and all that. You find it difficult to sleep. And sometimes there's a bit of nervousness, anxiety. And some people even shake under stressful situations. Next slide. Then when it comes to the mental or the cognitive symptoms, you find yourself constantly worrying. Sometimes you can sit at one place and be thinking, like I said, most of the time, some of the things you are even thinking about that should happen in that situation does not even happen in reality. There's racing thoughts. You do not have, things that you are supposed to focus on, you cannot focus. If you're a student and you are studying, trust me, you will not be able to study properly because you are undergoing that particular stress. And there's poor judgment. Decisions that you are supposed to take, maybe the right decisions. When you are under stress, you will not be able to take very right decisions. Then when it comes to the behavioral symptoms, there's procrastination, you are sluggish in the things that you do. Sometimes, like I said, some people respond to stress by eating a lot. So they gain a lot of weight. Other people do not eat at all. So you see them and you can tell that there's a depreciation in weight. There's increase in alcohol. Other people resort to alcohol, drug intake, and all that. if we can remember, there was a time that there was a high incidence of the youth taking tramadol. Yes. And I think there was this research that was done to find out why these people were taking a lot of this tramadol. And you can tell that these children, most of them were coming from homes that, trust me, the environment was really stressful. So when they meet their friends, and taking tramadol actually relaxes the nerves. So when you take it once and it relaxes your nerves, the next time you go for it, and with time you start increasing the dosage and all that. Then the other people exhibit biting their nails, anxiety and all that. So when you are here and you find yourself in a situation where you keep biting, I have a friend. He has bitten all his nails. You can't even see a nail on his finger. And he does that when he's writing exams. Okay. So stressors are basically what actually causes these stressful situations in our daily life. Number one, there could be relationship problems, either with a loved one, family, friends. All these things could be stresses. Problems at work, at school. Even your living situation alone can be stressful. Financial problems. Okay. Then when a loved one is dead, sometimes even the thoughts about the fact that you won't see the person ever again can be a very stressful. It's difficult coping without such people in our lives. And sometimes when you're living in an unsafe environment where you live, there's constant, theft cases and other things. Even living in that environment becomes a bit stressful for us. Next. So, with the coping mechanisms, basically they are strategies that we have to adopt to be able to cope in stressful situations. So, what are the importance of these strategies? The first one is if we are able to adopt good coping mechanisms when there's stress, we develop resilience. So that the next time that stressor comes again, you know I have faced this before and I can face it. And that's what life is about anyway. If we are able to also adopt strategies to cope in stressful situations, we'll reduce a lot of health issues. A lot of cancers, hypertension, heart attacks, most of them as a result of these stresses. It also reduces mental issues. We become healthier and happier if we are able to adopt these coping strategies. And they also help us to be able to focus or improve our focus. So how do we manage these stresses? Number one, we need to practice body relaxation exercises. So we have what we call the breathing technique. When you feel you're under stress, whether in your office, in your classroom, in your hostel, wherever it is, or even in your rooms, and decide to breathe in and release gradually for about 5 minutes. Most of the time, it relaxes the nerves. Then we have the guided imagery, where you sit or you leave that environment that is stressing you to another environment. You sit quietly, close your eyes, and start imagining happy things. Things that made you happy some time back. Start imagining all those things. Or things that you wish that you could do that will make you happy. You start imagining these things. They help to reduce the stress. Physical exercise. WHO recommends that we exercise about 45 minutes 3 times a week. Maybe if we're able to do all these things, it will reduce our stress levels. Yoga. Please, how many of you have practiced yoga here before? You did it in class? Okay. Next. Meditation. We all know how to meditate. I don't know how to explain the meditation. But more of reflecting, okay? Then counseling, talking to a specialist, someone who can guide you. At ACC, I know most of the time, the students, you go to the dean of students, right? Yes. With staff and faculty, we all have to go to the dean of students, Anna. Okay, he doubles as a preacher as well, so going to him will not be a problem. So most of the time, you see, we can't handle life's problems alone. So if you are here and you think you are going through a particular situation and you think you can handle it alone, sometimes you can. Other times, it's better you share that problem. There's a saying that a problem shared is half solved. So I advise that anytime we go through any stressful situations, whether here at ACC, let's find someone to talk to. If the person does not even recommend, give any solution, the person may recommend someone that we may speak to. Next. Also, we need to change our perception and expectations. You are in a relationship and your expectation of the person is here. Meanwhile, the person can deliver up to this point. Sometimes it brings up a broken heart. Just when I was up there, I was talking with Alex and the other guys. We were talking about broken hearts. And Alex was telling me that broken heart is a choice, which I told him I do not agree. But I think now, maybe he's right. If my expectation of him is here and what he can deliver is there, I'll always be under stress with him. And he's only human. So we need to change our perception about people and our expectations. Maybe when we go into our various relationships, even with our friends and our family members, our friends, the fact that you are good to someone doesn't mean the person should be good to you. It's not automatic. That's one thing we should always keep in mind. Then if it comes to maybe job-related or when you are studying and these things are causing stress, sometimes break the task into pieces. Do a little at a time, relax a bit, continue, and all that. Most of the time, it really helps. Then also set realistic goals, very important. You don't set goals up there when you know that you do not have the means or the resources to reach that point. Set very realistic goals. Give yourself timelines. If you do not meet them, don't worry. You're a human being. Go at it again and again and again. You eventually get to the goals that you have set for yourself. Then have a sense of humor. I mean, work with people who make you laugh. That's what I do. Or watch videos. I mean, nowadays when you go to Facebook, all we see are hilarious things. Go there. Just watch these videos and laugh out. Sometimes they help a lot. And set boundaries especially with your relationships with people. Know your values. If you realize that this person is exceeding, the particular value that you have, the person is going overboard, please be quick to alert the person. Don't say, oh, I still want this person to be my friend. The person is still disrespecting you and all that. It's stressful. So set boundaries as well. And also foster very healthy friendships and also talk with your friends and relatives. Those ones to help to reduce our stress, our stressful situation. Journaling. Personally, I have a book. I call it my book of gratitude. Most of the time, I write the things that, like, let's say, today I met Mr. Dan, so he said something that made me very happy. I'll go and write it. That's what I do. I write them down, the things that I'm thankful for. If it is, family, friends, I write them down. And it helps me. There are times that I just want to go over the book, look at it, and laugh. So sometimes when we write these things down, they help us. And eating well. We need to practice healthy eating. If you do not eat well, you will go through stressful situations. Eating well also means eating a lot of fruits and vegetables as well. And watching the time that you eat. I know we are students. We eat anyhow. Like, you wait till you are hungry before you eat. You need to have a scheduled time for eating and eat healthy foods. Research has shown that foods that contain a lot of sugar also can increase stress. Apart from that, to foods that contain caffeine, coffee, Coca-Cola, they all contain caffeine and can increase stress in the body. Next. Okay. So this was a very interesting thing I found out, that our brain fires about 14 or more cycles of electrical wave every second. Especially, let's say you are learning, you are in a meeting where you are thinking, the brain is firing about 14 cycles of electrical waves. And I don't know how to even equate it. So when you're under stressful situations, this even increases. So most of the time when you are managing stress, and we advise that you relax and all that. So those electrical waves that the brain exhibits at that stressful situation is what we call the beta waves. In managing stressful situations, or when you are practicing, let's say, deep relaxation, maybe you are talking to a counselor, that electrical wave, or those electrical waves, they start reducing. They reduce. When they are reducing, we call them the alpha waves. And that's, at that particular time, it helps you to be able to manage stresses. At the same time, if you are learning or whatever you are doing, it also helps to improve focus. Next. Okay. Thank God for technology. At least now we have a lot of apps that can help us to meditate, practice yoga, reduce stress and all that. So I managed to get about 4 of them that you can decide to download and use anytime you feel stressed. Next slide. Yes, so like I said, the stress is important. We need stress in our lives. A bit of it, yes, very important. Without stress, life becomes boring. But when the stress goes overboard too, that one is serious. So the key word here is balance. So in conclusion, next slide, there's something I call the arm. Arm yourself with ways to fight stress. So the A stands for avoid. Try to avoid the stresses that you can avoid. There are some that you cannot avoid. Those that you can't avoid, try to reduce them. And the last thing is try to make healthy decisions, because whatever decision you make can either put you in a stressful situation or not. Thank you.
We'll take some. Thank you very much, Madam Benet. I think we can give him another applause. Please, this is time for questions and contributions. So if you have any question or contribution. All right.
Okay, Madam, please, doctors do say that there are different types of headaches that we experience. So I want to know that does stress come with a particular type of headache that you experience? And the second one is, some people develop weight much when they are under stress, and I want to know how does that happen?
So we take last one then.
Mine has to do with the imaginary guide. So we should imagine things that makes us happy during those times. Can't those things even add up to the stress? Quite maybe I'm imagining myself cruising in a Benz and those things. Meanwhile, I don't have it. Can't it add up to the stress that I'm going through?
Okay. So the first question. concerning the types of headaches. For the headaches, there are plenty. Okay, it also depends on the part of the head that the headache is coming from. But the ones that we know that are really related to stress is the migraine. The one that most of the time you feel part of your head really hurting. So basically that's it. And I've forgotten your second question. Okay, that one I talked about it. That sometimes when the stresses come in, some people find comfort in food though. Like, so during that situation, we watch movies where when people break, especially the girls, they eat ice cream, a lot of ice creams, and some people find comfort in food. Yes, soup, and even in our part of the world, when you are sick, they are bombarding you with a lot of food. When they know that you've lost appetite, even in that stressful situation. So, I may respond to stress by eating a lot. Maybe you will reduce appetite, but my appetite will increase in that stressful situation. So that will make me gain a lot of weight. Then the second question concerning the Bugatti. Ben. I don't know how to answer this one. So, well, it depends on what you are imagining. Like I said, don't set too high expectations. If you set it, we are humans. We will not get there. So, like you are saying, yes, maybe sitting in a Benz makes you happy. Have you sat in it before? Exactly. It's not yours. If it was yours, yes, you'll be happy sitting in it riding. So please, be guided in what you are also imagining. That's what I would say.
We'll take last two.
My question is about, since you are saying we should have or we should entertain a little stress in our life, at what point do I know that it should be here, it should be there? Because I wouldn't want to hear it, because at what point would I know that I have to balance the stress, and how do I even identify it?
Okay, so with the stress, it's not like we invite them, they come. They come uninvited. So we only know when it's way up there, when it's really causing issue. Like we said, it's making you agitated. So if you have a particular stressor and it's really not bringing those symptoms, then it means it's something normal. It's something that you can manage. So that's how best I can answer.
Because of time. Thank you very much. I know we are all having questions. A lot of us are having questions. But because of time, there will be a part 2 of this. So don't worry. If you can't wait for the part 2, you can meet Madam at her office and she will answer you. Before we take the last prayer or the final prayer, we invite Mr. Danson for a brief announcement.
All right, just to inform you that January admission is over, but we're expecting students in April. So as we go about our normal duties and studies, let us try as much as possible to add a little stress of enrollment. Yes, increase your stress level small by adding admission to your activities. So at church, at home, chatting with your friends, students, the next batch of students will come in April. The process is now. So let us try as much as possible to project enrollments. Yeah. So we expect their orientation to be on 15th of March. 15th of March. When you are talking to people, let them understand that it's not too long a time that they have to wait. Oh, I'll buy the form tomorrow, I'll apply tomorrow. That will not be helpful. So 15th of March is their orientation time. And those whose orientation, that is the March, the April. Yes. They will start orientation from March 15th, end late, and then they will start lectures into the April. So that is it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Shall we be upstanding and ask Mr. Niyama to give us a closing prayer?
Thank you, our Lord and our God, for always granting your children resource persons who can educate us on things that matter to humans. We ask that you continue to endow her with heavenly wisdom. At every opportune time that she's called upon, she will share more with us. Help us, O Lord, to manage our stress. Help us, O Lord, to overcome all challenges in our lives. And let us all at all times acknowledge you in our lives. We thank you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Please, before we go, last one. As a way of managing stress, tomorrow morning there will be aerobic exercise on campus here. We'll be doing it on the field and go around as well. After which we'll meet here 5 a.m. Yeah, so those are the boys' hostel and the ladies' hostel. You can organize yourself and we'll do that. Thank you.
Do you have an interest and passion for the media? You see yourself excelling in the field of journalism and multimedia, but do not have enough time and funds to pursue courses in those fields. That is why the Heritage Christian College Media Training School was set up to give you an opportunity to train yourself for 4 months and get a 2-month opportunity for attachment at Truth TV. With our state-of-the-art studio and newsroom, experienced friendly lecturers in the field of journalism and conducive lecture halls, we offer students the chance to learn on the job with both practical and theoretical lessons. We offer courses in journalism such as newscasting, show hosting, voice training and phonetics, voiceovers, report filing, and many others. In the field of multimedia, we offer courses in cinematography, video editing, animations, studio management, master control room management, light and sound engineering, set design, graphic design, photography, and social media management. We offer intensive 1-week courses in communication essentials for professionals. We have both weekday and weekend courses. We are located behind Amasaman Stadium in Accra. Heritage Christian College Media Training School gives you all the tips you need to succeed in the world of communication.
Heritage Christian College,
offering world-class university education.
Heritage Christian College, offering world-class university education.
Heritage Christian College,
offering world-class university education.
Heritage Christian College, heritage,
offering world-class university education.
Heritage Christian College,
offering world-class university education.
Heritage Christian College,
Heritage Christian College, offering world-class university education.